Building a React Native multiplayer game is definitely one of the most challenging things you can do. You have to think about sockets and implementing the server and the front end and making everything work and actually implementing your game logic. But I did this with Supabase real-time capabilities and it was so unbelievable easy that I had to share this with you. And I combined this with the latest release of Skia. You've probably heard about this. So we're gonna create a little drawing application in which multiple people can draw in real time in the same canvas. So let's do this. I already created a new application using Create Expo Stack. However, you can also use the Expo CLI or whatever template that you prefer. The only two things that we need is the Shopify React Native Skia package and of course Supabase JS for our application. Now, on top of that, you also need a Supabase project. You can just create one for free, simply sign up if you have no account yet and create it. And then head over to your project settings and under API, you're gonna find the URL of your project and also the anonymous key. So this key is what you can use in a front-end application in a secure way with Supabase. Simply because you usually put in like the rules for your row level security on the actual database. Now, on top of that, we also need a .env file in my project, and here I will paste in the Expo public Supabase URL. So that's the URL you just saw. Where is it? Well, this is definitely the anonymous key. You can already see this one, and this URL goes up here. So this is how you connect it. Well, it's not entirely how you connect it, but it's how you set up the connection. So hit save here, and then I think we can actually use the Expo Go app. I'm not completely sure, but we're gonna try anyway. So let's bring up the Expo Go app. Let's run for the iOS simulator today, and I will simply place it here. My head might be covering part of it, but that's not really the important part. You should just see that something happens. Good. Great. That's actually good. What's going on here? I honestly don't know what's going on. Supabase Real Super Draw Components Container. Yeah, I don't know exactly what this is about, but I certainly don't want most of the pages in here. So at this point, it should probably reload, although we still might use the container in here. I don't know who put this in here. I guess they changed how the template works since I started it and using it. Anyway, now we see our homepage. We're using Expo Router. We have our layout with a stack definition. Probably if you want to change this, you could simply give your stack screen a name right in here, but that's not super important. The more important thing is that we do have our index page here, in which I want to open a channel. So we want to go to a page where we open a channel with another user to start drawing. That's the whole idea. So what we need on our index page is, of course, the router. So let's use it directly from code. We can use router from Expo, and then we can use a channel. So we're gonna connect that to an input field. We need to bring in use state, of course, and I will just pass in one so I don't have to type this all the time. Then we need a little function like on join. We're gonna really make this one quick. I don't want to have too much code in here because we want to focus on the next one. So I want to navigate to /channel, and I will pass it in using string. I had a shortcut before, or actually like an Visual Studio Code extension, that whenever I tried to write like a variable in a regular string, it transformed it into string literals. I don't know where that has gone, but it's certainly not working anymore. Okay, let's simply put in a view, and previously I had some styling. I don't know why nothing of this is included anymore in these templates. I honestly don't know what's going on. That used to be in Create Expo Stack, but again, it's not really about this, and it's not also, I have no import from React Native yet. Oh my, This is funny. Okay, so we do have the view. We don't really need the stack in here, the stuff. The only thing I want to place in here are two things. So I want to place in a text input and a touchable opacity. And I know you're screaming, Simon, why are you bringing all this in? This is way too fast. Yeah, I understand, but I don't want to make this about like creating a React Native text input and styling a touchable opacity. I really want to focus on the aspect of Skia and real time with Supabase. So here we go. This is just a text input which is connected to our channel state. And once I press the touchable opacity here, it will call on join and bring me to /channel/channel ID. That's the ID. Okay, we don't have that file yet, so let's create it. I will create a folder. Let's call this channel, and then channel. We'll just do it like this. I think I can just call it channel. Okay, so now we have it, and we can navigate here if we wanted to. And more importantly, what we can do here is we can extract the channel using the expo router. So const channel. Yeah, Copilot, you're completely useless when it comes to the latest features of expo router. Yeah, that's getting closer, but we want to use local search params, and then we should be able to use it. Actually, we should be able to just use it in here. So let's use stack.screen name. We don't really need the name on this page. We just need options. Yeah, that's better. And then we need this one from expo router. So if I now go here, I should see I'm in channel 1. I could also change this up here. 4. Okay, and I'm in channel 4. Okay, this is exactly what I wanted to see. Now we come to the drawing part, and that's going to be interesting. So I found a really great tutorial about create a hand drawing component using React Native and Skia from last year, which still works pretty great. This is already standing on the shoulders of giant. Again, the React Native community is just great. Like one person builds on another idea and builds on another idea, and now I'm building on these 3 people that have built these ideas and trying to refine this. So thank you so much for this. I think we're just gonna bring in most of the stuff and do this in a custom component. I think that should work best. So let's put a component here. I will call this drawing board.tsx. Okay, let's do the drawing board. And then we're gonna use pretty much everything we have in here. And I will walk you through what's going on in a second. Don't worry about the imports. So we're gonna bring in the imports as well. I should have probably just used, why didn't I just bring in the whole thing? I don't know. I sometimes question my own ideas after doing it. I don't know, I'm sorry. I'm just a poor man as well. Okay, here we go. I will want to place this here. So this is my drawing board, and before I explain it, let's put the drawing board into our actual channel page. So on the channel, after this, I will add the drawing board. Okay, here we go. And I wonder if this works now. I actually really wonder, because, okay, that page also needs to span the whole page. So let's use a flex of 1 and a background color of white. And here we go. This is the beginning. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? If you love tips and tutorials just like this, you will love what I've created inside galaxies.dev. On Galaxies, you will find all the code, more tutorials, and specific courses about learning React Native fast. So go check it out at galaxies.dev and use the code WARPSPEED at the checkout to get 10% off your first 3 months of Galaxies Pro. Also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below so you get updated about the new videos, live streams, and everything coming to this channel. I'm so thankful for this amazing tutorial, which boils it down really to the most important pieces. So what are we doing? We are using Skia from React Native. A new video about this will be coming soon. I'm working on a great tutorial. But basically this drawing board component has a state with path from Skia, and it has 2 functions, onDrawingStart and onDrawingActive. These functions are passed to the useTouch handler, which comes from Skia. And so whenever we touch become active, we call the first function, and on start we call this one. All right, and then the only thing required is to pass this to the canvas element. So with Skia, you're basically drawing in the canvas something that like all Flutter apps are made of. In this case, it's just useful and not just like trash. So canvas styling, some styling for flex layout. I actually don't need 100% width. I think it should work like this. And on touch, we got our touch handler. And then we simply draw the path in this canvas element. So what happens once we draw? Well, on drawing start, we get the touch information, we get the X and Y coordinates, and we start making a new path. We move that to the initial coordinates and put that into our array. So we got everything that was previously in the array, getting here the old value of updating our state, and then the new path. Now, once we do actually draw, the onDrawing active will be called, and that's doing some math here, some really like basic math about getting the last point, and then drawing quad 2 with those 4 coordinates and putting all of that in the right place in our path array. I'm really thankful for this function. They are so concise and to the point, and it just works. Like, this is really just great. Now, at this point, we want to talk about multiplayer. How can we bring in another person and another person's drawings into our application? And this is actually going to be somewhat challenging. So what I would like to start is, I want to start by basically broadcasting the events. I want to try to put these into their own components so we can like see that here we got all the drawing stuff in the drawing board, and in our channel we're gonna do the Supabase real-time management. The interesting thing is that I don't have to set up anything. Like the real-time stuff, it just works. I don't even have to set up my database. I don't have to configure anything here. The real-time, it just works. Like the socket connection with Supabase just works. Same for the presence. I could now easily show when another is online, another user. Anyway, let's start with this. So I want to start by adding drawing board props, okay, to my drawing board. And what I want to put in here is on start, I want to tell somebody about these values. So I want to just use X number, Y number. And then I have on active, in which I actually have XY, X1, Y1, and X2 number, and Y2 number. Okay, so we got these 4 coordinates in the case of on drawing active, and on start we have this. Okay, now the simple exercise, as you might know, we're gonna get these in here. So on start and on active in our drawing board component. Now, when I start drawing and I get these coordinates, I will call on start. So later, this will broadcast the event in real time. Same for our other math here. At this point, I want to call on active. Yes, last point X, last point Y. X mid and Y mid. So the same 4 coordinates that we use to drawing will also be passed here. I tried to pass like the whole SK path object through real time. That didn't really work that well. So I want to boil it down. I think also this will be a whole lot more performance. So if you just like broadcasting 4 numbers, that shouldn't be a big thing, even if we like constantly broadcast them. But broadcasting like a whole SK path object, you see, that's probably not the smartest idea. Okay, this is a good start. So at this point, we're gonna move up to my channel because right here we can, or we should implement on start and also on active. Okay, and these of course need to be assigned to their own function. So let's do on drawing start and on drawing active, and then we're just gonna pass them on drawing start, on drawing active. Good. As a result, I hope that once we join a channel, okay, I get drawing, and if I just do it short, I get the start. So if I just click, I get started, and if I draw, I get the whole 4 coordinates. Okay, that's good. That's a good point. Now, we haven't brought in Supabase yet. That is coming up now. So let's start by bringing in the create client call. So import create client from the Supabase JS package. We should probably now initialize the client outside up here. Could we do this in another file? Yeah, we probably could, but I will just do it in here. And I want to do my const create client with a Supabase URL from my environment and the anonymous key. I will actually call this client. I want to call this client. I think it's otherwise confusing. All right, this is the general connection to Supabase you're going to see in a lot of tutorials. On top of that, I want as a user to have a random username and random color. Usually, or I would recommend that you of course also put in Supabase authentication or use something like Clerk. Then you can use like the real username and more better values. In our case, we're just gonna fake it with like creating a random username and random color once we arrive on this board. So now it gets interesting. We're gonna place a use effect in here, and within that use effect, what we want to do is we want to create a connection to a new channel. So we should keep track of that in state as well. So let's say I want to call this broadcast channel, set broadcast channel. This is RTC data channel. Where is this coming from? I don't feel very comfortable about that one. I will call it any for the moment. Then we're gonna also keep track if the user is connected. I don't want to display the board up front, so I only want to display this when the user is connected. So this will be false initially, and that's it for now. So if we don't have a channel, if we are already connected, then I will return. So channel is just my channel ID. However, in the other case that we move on, I will create a new channel using the client, so the Supabase client, and call channel on this. All right, and on channel, I want to basically connect to a specific channel name. I will just call this one drawing and then the ID of the channel. All right, this is our new channel. And I want to, of course, keep that. So set broadcast channel. This is my new channel. Now we're gonna actually subscribe to the channel. This is the important part. So I want to keep the subscription in here, and I can call new channel.on. You see there's also presence, by the way, so you could get the presence of a user. But I want to define a block for different things. So on broadcast, you see on Postgres changes, you can also describe connect to changes of your database here, but we don't really want that today. In the case of a broadcast, I want to listen to the event, let's say start. And then what we're gonna get here is a payload. Okay, so we can use that, we can get the payload. And let's see if we get all the brackets right. That would be a surprise. Actually, we did. Actually, we got all the brackets in the... Oh, that is amazing. So amazing. Okay, so in the dependencies array, I'm going to put channel. So we can see that once we got the channel, we will call this effect. And then I will also, of course, add the return block before we do anything else, in which I want to call subscription unsubscribe. And is there a leave function? I wonder. Present state, rejoin timer, subscribe, unsubscribe. I wonder. Leave the channel. Okay, yeah, leave the channel. That sounds good. So we're gonna do this here in the end. Great. I actually wonder if the order makes a difference, but I don't think so. So once we get an event, we will do something. So in my case, I will just log for now received start event, okay? But we can also do more. We can have more events. So I can just copy this block and paste it here. So on broadcast, we're gonna also have an active event. You know, we have on drawing start and we have on drawing active. By the way, I should probably also open this in my Expo Go app here. So I can actually connect to the same channel. Let's Let's see if this works. Oh, it would be a surprise if it works like the first, but I'm actually joined. Nice. Okay, so got it open on the app here as well. I might open this one, so at some point we will be also able to see my device screen. Here we go. I'm gonna bring this in later. Okay, now we got the event start, we got the event active, but I also want to subscribe now. I want to subscribe to and get the status of our connection to the real-time client. I don't know why you're complaining, but I want to check if the status is equal to, and we get only a few: channel error, closed, subscribed, or timed out. I want to pick if the user is subscribed to the channel. I'm gonna set is connected true, and then the world will be happy. Didn't I open this one up here? Okay, now we got it. Now with that in place, I also just want to make sure that we only render the drawing board once we're connected. So is connected and my drawing board, pasting this in here. Cool. All right. I'm in channel 1. I will also update this to display my username, just for reference. Let's say this is like my random username. Okay, so we got this user, and now we're gonna try actually to broadcast something. So on drawing start, I want to use my broadcast channel and call send. So with send, I should be able to send something. I wonder what is the type of the broadcast channel. Maybe we can actually get this. So the new channel is of the type real-time channel. Real-time channel from Supabase or null. Okay, and now we should have nice code completion here. So broadcast channel dot send. Yes, nice. All right, let's see what Copilot gives. I want to send the first of all, type should be broadcast. Okay, so there's also the Postgres change and the presence again. Then we do have the event, which will be start. And then I have my payload of X, Y. I want to also pass the color and the user, just because that might help later. And then on drawing active, I want to do pretty much the same, but this time it is active. And we're gonna do, let's see, X, Y, Y, X2, Y2, and then color and random color. And I don't know, actually at this point, I don't have to pass the color again. We should have that color. Okay, great. Now, what happens is the user joins here. So let's join the channel 1. And I will now also on my other device join this channel 1. If this user draws something, oh yeah, I can't draw on there. If the user draws, we're gonna see drawing started. We should probably do some events away. Drawing started and drawing active. But we also see that received start event and received active event are called from this one. So here is user 286, and here we're receiving events from user 444 with these coordinates. So that means without doing anything, we have pretty much already done the whole real-time thing. You could build games with this stuff. It is incredible. I really love it. Like you could have like number games or word games or whatever you want to broadcast through that Supabase real-time channel. Really, just open the channel, play a game, and then close it again. This is incredible. Really, I'm overly excited. I know this has been in Supabase for quite some time at this point, but I don't know. I'm still getting overly excited about this stuff. So at this point, when we do something, or get either the start or the active event, we want to do something. We want to tell our drawing board to please render this path from a different user. So I can draw my own stuff, but it's not arriving yet on the other device. However, we do get the coordinates. So let's first of all destructure this. Let's get the X, Y, color and the user from the payload. Yes, that's good. In this case, we can do pretty much the same. but this time it's x1, y1, x2, user. Yes, that's it. Now, the challenge at this point is how do we get these things to combine with Skia and draw on our drawing board. And that's why we have to go back to the drawing board and set up something. So we could probably define the drawings in here, create the Skia path just like we did on the drawing boards, and then pass them to our component in here. However, I felt more comfortable just passing it straight into the drawing board and calling a function to update. And whenever you want to call from a parent a function in your child, you need a forward ref. And we're going to set up exactly that in the best possible way using use imperative handle. So hear me out. Here's how it works. We go to the drawing board and we define another type. We're going to export the type drawing board ref. And we're going to say received start. Okay, and we're gonna say received active with all of the numbers fun. So this is X, Y, color user, X1, Y, yeah, that should be fine. All right, now we have to restructure our drawing board in that we say forward ref from React, and then we have two arguments or two generics here. We have the drawing board ref, and we have the drawing board props. All right. Then once we get this, we need to wrap another pair of brackets around this. Then we have our first argument, which is the on start on active from drawing board props, and then we do have the ref. Then we just have the regular implementation, and then we should at the end fix this by adding one more bracket. Okay, so far this should not break anything or change anything. However, we can now expose some functions here from our drawing board using that ref. So I want to have a function const on other drawing start that use callback. Yeah, I think that should be fine. And we do have on other drawing active. Yes, I think these two should be fine. Let's just put a lock in here. Lock on other drawing, and for this one as well, lock on other drawing active. All right, how do we expose them now? We can set up, as I said, use imperative handle, and it looks like this. We have the ref, and then we have an object that basically exposes our functions using using received start. So for received start, what I want to call is my on other drawing start. Okay, this is now completely messing up everything in here. Let's just pass in null and received active null, and then we can close this, not break everything. Okay, so received start will now use my on other drawing start and on other drawing active. I really hope I haven't lost you on this, because the forward ref stuff is quite challenging with use imperative handle, but basically we're just telling that our parent can call these functions on the child in the most efficient way. There are some ugly ways how you can trigger a reload or something, and this is like the good way of doing it, or actually the correct one, which is recommended in the React Native docs, in the React docs. Okay, so now we need our ref here, and we can create that one. So let's call this the drawing ref, and then we're gonna use ref with my drawing board ref. Okay, use ref needs to be imported as well, and then we set the ref down here on the drawing board. So whenever I do it, I mess it up and click it. It trolls me every single time, and I don't learn from it. I don't know. So now the important piece, we have the subscription, we get the messages. We've seen this from the logs that our reelcast or broadcast of different events works. And now we're passing these events with the coordinates back to the drawing board. So at this point, I will call drawingref.current received start, and notice, if I hit dot here, we actually get code completion because we've set up the right types in the right way how React wants us to use that stuff. So received start with the coordinates, and same here, drawing ref current, received active with all the fun that I wanted to pass. I actually don't want the random color. I don't want the color here. I don't think we need the color. That shouldn't be required at that point. Okay, so let's see. If I now go in here, I join this one, I join it on my device. If now on my device I do something, on other drawing start, on other drawing active, it just works. Okay, so this is not about Supabase, this was really about React and how we can pass events around in our app. But I just wanted to like go step by step with you through this journey of how we get the events to the right place and how we can do it. So I can draw in here, and now the only thing left is that at this point I need to update my functions. And honestly, I just use Copilot to figure that out and how I write these functions. So on other drawing start, it's basically using the logic that we had before, but in a slightly updated way, because there could be multiple people working on this. So I want to set up a state here. I will call this other path and set other path. This could be as easy as this. However, in reality, I wanted to make this an array of objects. So we have an object here. Now I really need to be careful that I don't mess this one up. Okay, I have an array of objects. This will be empty initially. Okay. And within the object, we're gonna have an array of path, which is the same like before, and we're gonna have a user, which is a string. And probably, yeah, we should also have the color, which is also a string. Okay, so we could have multiple entries in here, so multiple users could connect and we could keep track of the according user paths. Okay, now let's get started. On drawing or on other drawing start, I want to remove that lock now. And I want to set my other path. I want to do this in here just like we did before, like we did in the other function. So first I need to grab the user path. That means from the old array, I need to find actually that's not the path, it's more like an object where the object.user is equal to the user who just started drawing. Now, if we do have user paths, then I want to do something. I don't know if I want to do this. I want to keep this easy for the moment. And in the other case, what I want is to just draw a new path and add it to the array. This is the easier path. So this is again using the stuff from below. I want to keep everything that we had before and then start a new object with the user color and the new path. If the user already exists and has drawn before, it becomes a bit more challenging. So in that case, I want to try and create a new path like before. Actually, that looks like I can simplify it, right? We have it in both. That's a good learning point. So if you have it in here and in here, that means you can also just have it outside of the if and save 2 lines of code. Cool. All right, so if we have a user path, then I want to create this array of the previous user path and the new path that the user is starting. And then I need to update the old array, which means I will filter out everything from the old array that's not the user and then add the new stuff. Okay, this is a bit challenging in here and I'm sorry about this, but you can also check out the code on GitHub. I probably haven't mentioned that before, so check out the description. All right, how long are we into this? We're already 33 minutes into this, so let's make this one a bit shorter. It's pretty much, again, the same. It's just a lot of calculations going on with this one here. So we want to update our old path. We want to see and find the user path. If there's no user active, that's actually quite strange. So the user should have called the on other drawing start before on other drawing active can actually be called. So if this doesn't exist, I will just return the current path. Basically, this part here should never be called. So then we get the user path, we draw our quad, and then we filter out everything from the other users, and we update our own stuff. And this one with a slice logic here is actually pretty much the same like down here. We also slice the last element to just add the new path. Okay, I'm gonna hit save. For the record, I will also now join this again. So I'm joining this here, I'm joining this here, and I'm drawing on my app, and it's not yet working. I'm pretty sure I forgot about something at this point. Okay, yeah. Okay, we are updating our other paths array. And now the last missing piece is to combine this. So down here in the beginning, we saw that we're drawing in the canvas the path, and I want to keep it like it is. Okay, this is good logic. However, now I also want to draw the other paths. So other paths.map. And now remember, there could be multiple users in this. So what we get in here is basically just some information and an index. Okay, and with that, we're creating this one. I will actually put this in a fragment from React now using the index key. Okay, let me write this on my own Copilot. Okay, I got the fragment thing going on. And then I need to iterate info.path. So this is the object from a user with the color and the path. So at this point, I'm mapping them again. And I will call this I2. And then, oops. I can bring in what we had before here, drawing a path. The key this time will be, of course, I2. We can use the same path, and we can use the user color at this point. So that should be info.color. And then I'm not closing something correctly yet. Okay. And you see, I spoiled this. No, let's do this again. I'm joining it here, and I'm drawing now on my device. Then we still have that preview. Yeah, we do have. So I'm drawing here on my real device, and in real time, it comes up on the other app. And same here, I can draw here, and it shows. So my color here on the right-hand side is black. That's the current user color we've set. On the left, it will use the color of that user. And you see how smooth that is? This is real time, and it's drawing, and it's Skia, and it's a canvas, and that basically means the sky is the limit. You can do everything if you understood how this stuff works. I found this to be more than just impressive. So I could now go into a different channel. Of course, there's not like the whole logic figured out here, but let's say I go into the channel 52. And if this user also joins the channel 52, then we can start a new drawing game and capture the flag or play whatever we want. So I really hope that this gave you an impression of how great Supabase Realtime works. I was blown away because I just created the Supabase project and used the credentials, but I did not activate anything. I did not even use SQL commands to create the database. I did not set up row level security. I didn't do anything of that. I just used the Supabase JavaScript SDK with React Native and in combination with Skia to achieve this cool drawing. But of course, you don't have to use Skia. It could be any kind of game. You may be sending questions to another user. You could do this for a little chat feature. There are so many possibilities, and I would love to know if you have built something with real-time in Supabase. Let me know down in the comments, and of course, check out the GitHub repository linked in the description as well. And finally, if you want to learn more about React Native, check out Galaxies, which is my platform, the home of epic React Native content. Oh, and if you enjoyed Supabase, I will pin another video up here that I did a while ago about building an AI shopping list with Supabase. That was so much fun as well. Check it out. I will catch you in the next one, and until then, happy coding, Simon.